Welcome back, friends, to another Encore episode of the My GBC podcast. We are excited to bring you a reprise of a fantastic conversation we had in a previous recording. In this episode, we delved into the programs and resources available to students through the PeerMentor Plus program. Our special guests were Marilia and Abby. They were both student peer mentors, and they shared their insights into the PeerMentor Plus program and how they support our GBC community. So let's listen to it together. Enjoy! So welcome to the show, Marilia and Abby. How are you doing?
Hi, Ponza. Thank you so much. We're doing good.
Amazing.
Hello. Thanks for having us here today.
Of course, yeah. I'm very excited. I think this conversation in particular is going to be very helpful for a lot of our students. So hopefully everybody can learn a lot of things from the PeerMentor Plus program, because I actually learned about it pretty recently as well. And I think it's very great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah, sure.
So let's just begin with a little bit of an introduction about the program. Could you start by explaining what the PeerMentor Plus program at George Brown College is all about and basically what is its main goal?
So I guess I could start. The PeerMentor Plus program at George Brown College is kind of run by students at George Brown, and we try to offer peer support to other students just so that it can be more relatable for the students regarding things like stress and anxiety of student life. If they want anything just in general to talk to about like Blackboard or assignments, things like that, we're here to offer students a community as well as things like how they can build resiliency and letting students know that they're not alone. Yeah, I think that's a short little summary on that. We have
amazing, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this is a safe space so students can find support. So we are students offering support to other students, and we offer supports like in one-on-one sessions or group supports as well.
Yeah, it sounds like there is definitely a lot of support for the community. And I actually I keep hearing the world community, which I think is very important and can be very helpful for a lot of our students. I'm sure that you have definitely, both of you and a lot of the peer mentors that we have in the program have personally impacted a lot of the students that we have, which is great. I feel like that definitely feels great for you too as well, just being the person who does this. So yeah, thank you for explaining. So just moving on to the next question, could you share more about the different types of facilitation within the program, such as the group sessions that we have and one-on-one sessions? What are those about?
So we offer the group support, as we mentioned. So we have like groups that the students can join, like for example, the community club, where they can develop skills together in a supportive and an interactive environment. And also on one-on-one sessions where students can approach any kind of topic that they would like to discuss. If they want to talk to someone, have like a friendly conversation, or if they need support with platforms or whatever they want to talk about. So it's just a free space that they can talk and have a good time.
And I think when I was going through the website, the George Brown College website, there was something about how you can actually just go about and book an appointment, one of these one-on-one appointments. Can you explain how students can actually access the self-selection appointment portal?
Yes. So basically they go through to the website, and to make it easier, they can just like type George Brown College PeerMentor on the browser that they would like to find it. And on the portal, the GBC portal, they can find all the programs that we can offer, like the group programs, and also the portal, the Wait Well portal. They just have to fill out some information like their names, their student IDs, and important information. And then they will join the queue, and then they can talk to a peer mentor right away.
Amazing. And like eventually the conversation is like going to be, I think I heard somewhere that it's on Teams. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. Yes. So basically, okay, when they fill out the information, they're going to wait for the portal to direct you to Microsoft Teams, and then this is going to open like a different window on Teams, and then you are going to be able to talk to someone online.
Amazing. Well, that's great because it's very accessible. All of us at George Brown, we have free access to teams. So I think that makes it very much easier for all of our students to kind of just jump on the track and talk to someone.
Exactly. I'd just like to interject and kind of add, I'm not sure if this was mentioned before, but like the one-on-one sessions are like drop-in based. So you don't actually need to make an appointment for them. You do just have to kind of go to the
Okay.
portal and sign up. But because it's drop-in, it makes it a lot easier for students to find somebody to talk to if they need someone on the day of, for example, instead of having to like wait a week or two to speak with somebody. That's for the one-on-ones, but there are some programs like the Breaking Free programs that you do have to make an appointment. But yeah, the PeerMentor one-on-one programs work on a drop-in session. So you just kind of wait in a queue if there are like other people online, and then you're seen
Okay.
typically that day. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a very good clarification. Because I feel like if it was like an appointment based, you would forget like your problem and be
Yeah.
like, oh no, what was my problem? But if it's
Hmm.
drop-in, you just go in and you're like, okay, this
Exactly.
isn't
Yeah.
starting.
Super accessible. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's very easy.
So just moving on to like the specific areas or topics that student mentors specialize in, can they sort of basically provide support in various aspects of student life, or are there like certain topics that mentors are specializing in?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I could start that off. There are a couple different areas that Peer Mentor Plus branches off into. If you want to do like just the one-on-one supports, for example, where that works on like the drop-in sessions, we kind of talk about wellness in general. It doesn't even have to be about like mental health. It could be about things like how we mentioned before, Blackboard, or if you're struggling to see your grades on it, for example, we can do our best to help you. We talk about accessible learning. There are other programs like the Breaking Free that I've mentioned before that discusses substance use and like how to kind of navigate through that. And then, as like Marilia has mentioned, we have the community club, and within the community club, there are different topics that we discuss, which is kind of group facilitation. We also have ASD and Friends, which is for people who have lived experiences with autism. So there are a lot of different things that PeerMentor Plus kind of encompasses.
Amazing. Yeah, that's great to know. And I feel like I was just saying this in our previous episode. I feel like I have had a lot of experiences with a lot of my friends and a lot of my classmates that they actually needed this kind of support. And they would, of course, like come to their other classmates. And sometimes, like, of course, they want to help out. But because there are a lot of people in their class, maybe a lot of them need help, it's just kind of hard for them to do it. And a lot of people
Yeah.
actually feel shy about going to another classmate and asking for support. So I feel like there's a lot of people that could actually directly benefit from this. So basically, thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
I feel like I agree. It does help to kind of have like a third party kind of listen to you. Like if that's what you wanted, kind of like that someone who's like not so involved in that situation that you can just kind of talk to about like anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think you mentioned it briefly when you were talking, but are there any other opportunities for students to engage with the PeerMentor Plus program? Like I think you mentioned the community club, but can you just explain in more detail what community club is about?
Yeah, so basically the community club, it's a space where students can discuss a variety of topics. We discuss like, for example, social skills, how they can distress, they can have a conversation about whatever they want to talk about, because sometimes we start talking about a topic and then we end up talking about something completely different. So it's just a free space so they can feel welcome and engage in conversations and share their experiences. So it's a nice space that they feel like engaged and heard.
Amazing. And so, as student peer mentors yourself, could you share some insights into what a student mentor does? How do you like provide support and guidance to the George Brown community?
So basically, we create spaces for people to exist in their own ways, let's say, and centering the person helps in the way that they engage in certain aspects. So it's just a place that they can feel more secure to be how they are and who they are. They can create a sense of community and engage in relationships with people, like develop a connection with people. sharing ideas, emotions, and validating these feelings that they feel, because as we are all students, we probably share the same feelings. We always get stressed with tests and assignments. So we probably face the same situations in a variety of topics and subjects and stuff. So is this validation through a sense of community.
That's amazing. And I feel like it's kind of like a little, I wouldn't say like a therapy session, but like it's just like going to someone to talk to. But I think it's also good to mention that if students are interested in like having a conversation with an actual therapist, George Brown College actually has resources for that as well, free resources that students could use as well. And I think we can definitely share the information about that in the notes for the podcast, because that could definitely benefit a lot of people as well. But yeah, that was great. And another question that I have is that I think a lot of our students now learned about like what it's like to be a peer mentor, and a lot of them might be actually excited to become one. So yeah, how can students actually become mentors? What's the process like?
That's a great question. So I can speak for myself. I went onto the PeerMentor website, and there is kind of a little prompt at the bottom that says, if you're interested in becoming a mentor. We aren't hiring for September, but we will probably be hiring around October for the January semester. It involves a lot of training, and a lot of learning, which is great. You're kind of always learning throughout the job. There aren't any specific requirements for the job, but it would be great if the students who'd like to become a mentor have lived-in experiences regarding things like mental health or engaging in disabilities or substance use, for example, and just like kind of a willingness to connect with one another, providing empathy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good to know for all of our students who are interested in becoming mentors. Take notes. Maybe you can apply not this September, as I said, but hopefully for the next semester, maybe you can become a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And lastly, I see there's also a support group called ASD and Friends for students who connect with the lived experience of autism. And you mentioned that briefly as well, but can you tell us more about this group and how it actually provides support and resources to its members?
So the groups happen weekly in person right now. And as you mentioned, we have peer mentors with a lived experience with autism. So it's just a way to create a sense of community, to build skills. The peers program, that it's also a skills program from UCLA designed to give support with adults with ASD that they can take out to the world, how to enter and exit conversations. It's just like a friendly and welcoming space to the person, so they can decide what they want to put their efforts on. So it's a place to share, to get positive feedback and encouragement, and everyone is able to join the group.
Yeah. It's great because the members also have a say in terms of subject matter. So it's not always kind of a set topic that's done every week. The members come in and they can kind of share what they'd like to talk about during their week or experiences that they've had, and then kind of determine amongst themselves what they'd like to discuss in that session.
I feel like this is very impactful on our community. And just speaking of that, do you have any success stories or like memorable experiences that you have had with any of the students that you can share with us?
I've talked to many students about like many topics, but I remember that I've talked to one student like maybe 4 or 5 times. And all these times were about different topics. So it was not about just one topic itself. It was about, for example, platforms, Microsoft Teams, Blackboard, how to create a good schedule, and how to organize yourself, how to find the information on Blackboard, on the platforms. So every time that we were meeting, we were discussing a different topic. So it was really nice to get this connection with the student. So the student felt comfortable reaching out and asking for help and support. So, and as I mentioned, it was not just one topic. It was like a variety of topics. So it's not just about like specifically something that you think that we are able to discuss. It can be about many things, and just like have a friendly conversation as well, and how to find information. So it's a place that students can find support.
Yeah, and I feel like you could connect with someone a lot. Like after 5 times of
Yes.
like talking to someone, it kind of, you connect with them a lot, which is great.
Yes, and it's nice that they come back, you know, like they think that we are able to help and they feel comfortable sharing the things with us.
For sure.
So it's just a way to feel that they are like being heard and they feel comfortable sharing the things and asking for help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like to add on to that, one of the most, for me, like the rewarding parts about working for PeerMentor is that you get to see the students that come in feeling like sometimes they feel a little stressed or anxious about a variety of different things, but then they leave being like, oh, thank you. Like you actually, like I feel actually a lot better. Or sometimes like students come in saying that they feel lonely because they're international students, and they just want someone to talk to. It doesn't necessarily have to be like mental health related, but they just want like communication or like connection with other people. And more often than not, people will leave the office or the online meetings being like, I feel better, like just talking about anything, you know. And I think that's very rewarding in this job.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely very rewarding. And I think you just mentioned something that I was like, I think we should mention that. And that is, what is your working hours? Is it till 3 p.m., I think? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the summer, it is until 3. So online, it's Monday to Fridays, 10 to 3. And then at Casa Loma, the drop-in sessions are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, 10 to 3.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's very important to mention. I think I forgot to ask about that. Okay, amazing. So I'm almost getting to the end of it. One more last question that I have. I mean, there's another little one after that, but is there anything else that you'd like to add or any upcoming events or initiatives within the PeerMentor Plus program that our listeners should know about?
I guess that it's nice for them to know about the programs that we offer at the community club, because the community club, we discuss a variety of topics, as I mentioned in the beginning. So we have, for example, the co-design course where students create courses for the students. So this is pretty interesting because they create courses that they find important, and it's important for them to learn and to know about. So review skills building to make sure that they actually build something that matters for the students, it's relevant. And the adulting one-on-one where we discuss practical life skills. The communication survival kit where this one we developed last year with the students, where we discuss interpersonal skills. And the Let's Get Cooking, where we discuss food culture and why food is important, like practical skills for the students, because we know that here in Canada, we face, for example, like prices that are really high for some kind of foods, right? So how we can improve this and how we can adapt some other things is not just discussing, for example, recipes. It's discussing like many topics involving food. So this is pretty interesting. And the students create these courses. So they think that it's important for the students to know, to discuss, and to have other students' input. It's pretty fun.
That's amazing. Yeah, creating courses, I feel like that's something that would help a lot of us. Like I had this course this semester that the professor actually allowed us to kind of come up with the syllabus and what we want to learn. And it was definitely very much impactful at the end because we learned what we wanted to learn. So I feel like this is very beneficial for the students as well. I promise this is one last question, and that is, how can students actually find more information about the PeerMentor Plus program, and how can they connect with you?
Yeah, so we do have an Instagram if the students wanted to go find us. It is George Brown PeerMentor Plus. We post a lot of different information on like our stories or as like an actual post. You can also just Google like on the George Brown website or type into Google George Brown PeerMentor Plus, and then you'll see again on there like how to visit the portal so that you can join in what we call Wait Well to do the one-on-one sessions, or how to sign up for enroll for community club or ASD and Friends, or to connect with us, there is an email called PeerMentorPlus@georgebrown.ca if you have like any questions about the program. We're also doing outreach throughout campuses. So if you see one of us, we're normally with like a little cart that has a sign on it that says Peer Mentor. Feel free to ask one of us any questions that you have about Peer Mentor if you see us in person.
Amazing. So thank you both for joining us today and sharing valuable insights into the PeerMentor Plus program. It's been really a pleasure having you on the podcast. And I know I personally learned a lot today, and I'm sure our listeners will feel the same when they get to hear this episode as well. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you all next week. Enjoy the summer. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.